Hello and welcome to Hornclub, the online saxophone magazine with me, Bob Whittaker, and Dean Masser. Coming up in this episode, we have a saxophone shootout for you. Battle of the Giants, I think, Dean. Conn 10M, 1936, versus Selmer Mark VI, 1966. Looking forward to that one.
It's the big hitters, isn't it?
It is. That's the one that, it's been done before, but we'll do it again.
Oh, yeah.
Also, in the Bebop Cookbook, Dean is going to give his insight on the Harmonic Minor scale. Is it a scale, Dean?
No, it isn't.
We'll find out. But first, sax news. Out now, Rollins in Holland. It's a new release. It documents Sonny Rollins' time in Holland in 1967. It is available in a couple of different formats. You either have a multi-CD box set or a multi-vinyl box set. And it is some studio and some live. The booklet that comes with it is fantastic. Lots of unseen photographs from his time there in the venues and in the studio. Plus also Sonny discusses playing a Buscher Big B tenor, which I think he used on all the dates. So it's quite interesting. He talks actually about the merits of the Buscher versus the Selmer. So there's a bit of sax geekness in there for you as well. But it's a beautiful album, and obviously it's Sonny Rollins. What's not to like? Next in the news, here at Hornclub, we have decided to be super generous to you, and we are doing a free giveaway. And you have the chance of winning one of these fellas. They're beautiful. They are D'Addario Select Jazz marbled rubber mouthpieces. Currently retailing in the UK for around the £200 mark. So not to be sniffed at. It's a good prize. How do you win it? Very, very simple. Hit the subscribe button. That's all you have to do. We will be randomly choosing a winner on December the 20th and announcing it then. So good luck with that, guys. And that is Sax News. So I've been looking forward to this shootout. As we said, it's the big one, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I've seen numerous comparisons between 10Ms and Mark VIs. There's lots on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
What's your take?
Well, I mean, I've owned about 4 Mark VIs. probably about 4 10Ms.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're great horns.
Yeah.
They're both absolutely great. And I think it really comes down to horses for courses.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, talking about ergonomics for a start, I actually prefer the ergonomics on Conns to Selmers. Call me weird, but
I will call you weird.
yeah, probably be entirely justified. I find these more comfortable personally, but I can see the argument, for the Selmers. In terms of sound, I find that Selmers to be the sound's a lot more compact somehow.
Yeah.
That core sound
Yeah.
thing, which, I mean, maybe people who watch the shootout will go, "Oh, I thought he sounded better on the Mark 6." And
Yeah. Well, that's the whole point, isn't it?
vive la difference,
Yeah.
But I find Conns so much more satisfying to play, especially in an acoustic setting.
Right.
Because the sound, there's more kind of spread to the sound, and I get the sound that I hear much more on a Conn than I ever did on a Mark 6.
Yeah, it's an interesting point about the live sound, because as far as I'm aware, the Conns were made particularly the 10Ms were really in a slightly different era to the Mark 6.
Yeah.
Particularly we're talking about the one that you played, the 1966 one, when things were changed. The live setting had changed. It's a lot louder. Electric instruments coming in. Bigger audiences maybe.
Yeah.
And so I think, the development of Selmer from balanced action SBA to Mark 6 definitely went more centred and more, perhaps might cut through more or suits that kind of sound of music a bit more.
Yeah, possibly. And of course we shouldn't forget that, these instruments were kind of built in the swing era.
Yeah.
The swing era was gone.
Yeah.
By then. So the whole kind of big blending thing. I mean, I've been lucky enough to play in some sax sections where it's been all Buches and Conns.
Right.
And it's just glorious.
Yeah.
It's just glorious. Sit in a sax section where they're all Mark 6s, and it's nice, but they blend in a different different way.
Yeah.
But we should also remember that the Mark 6 was designed for classical playing too.
Yeah.
So it had that crossover. I don't think that these were built with that in mind.
No. I have seen a couple of classical players on Conns, but it's not really designed for that job, is it?
No.
So, but yeah, I mean, they're the big hitters, aren't they?
They certainly are. Yeah.
They're the two most popular or aspirational tenors, at least, to own, I think.
Yeah. I can't see why these are half the money.
Yeah, it's an interesting point, because I'm sure if we went back in time, new for new, they were very, very similar in price.
Yeah.
But as you say, Mark 6s have just, as everyone knows, they're sky high now and not coming down. Having said that, though, the Conns are going more and more. They're catching up.
Yeah. I mean, I can remember maybe 15 years ago, where it was buy one get one free on Conns. They were absolutely going for peanuts, and now they're starting to get. But even so,
there seems to be. I mean, we've talked about this before, but there seems to be a slight shift because there's a lot of younger pro players who are onto Conns now.
Yeah.
So maybe that has something to do with the price.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, like guys like Dave O'Higgins, who played on Mark 6s forever, and then bought a Conn, and now he's a Conn man too.
We talked about it in the first episode.
Yeah,
there's a list of players that are all top, high flying players, all using Conns now. So they are getting there. So, but yeah, great instruments. Can't go wrong with either, really.
No.
Really depends whether you want that slightly more spread Conn, bigger sound, or the more focused Mark 6 sound.
Yeah, that's it.
Keywork wise, I know your preference is on that. I don't know, really. I think you get used to either, really. they'd both be very quick.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, absolutely that. It was funny going back to a Mark 6 because I haven't played a Mark 6 for a while. And I kept missing the side F sharp.
Yeah.
It just felt like it was in completely the wrong place.
Yeah.
And I wasn't too keen on this either, just because
on the tail key,
you just get used to just get used to what you play on, unless they're disastrously bad ergonomics. But certainly on these there's no issues there.
Yep, both great instruments then.
Yeah, lovely. I really enjoy playing them.
Okay, so in the intro, you categorically said, the harmonic minor scale is not really a scale. Yet again, he's at it again. There's no such thing as scales. So go on, give us your wisdom on this one, Dino. What is it then?
Well, it's not a scale, is it? And,
this is where all the people start hitting that unsubscribe button.
Yeah. It's just, when I was kind of learning the saxophone and, I did some grades on the clarinet.
Right.
And I always used to stand there in the exam room going, harmonic, is it the harmonic or the melodic or the...
Yeah.
And then later on, I realised how daft that was.
Right.
Because the harmonic minor scale is called the harmonic minor scale because it's harmony.
Okay.
And once again, it's two chords playing together.
Right.
Let's think, D minor.
Okay.
That'll do. So, D minor, arpeggio, D, F, A.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the notes that are left, E, G.
I'm looking away from you.
B, look at me.
Okay.
B flat and C sharp.
Yep.
Leading note diminished.
C sharp diminished chord.
See?
Okay.
And when you put those notes together in ascending order, all right, it does make a scale, but it's not a very nice sounding scale, is it?
No, it's weird sound, isn't it?
It's funny. Everybody goes.
Yeah.
And I've heard some crazy descriptions, like to do the harmonic minor, flat 3, flat 6.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's weird because that's comparing it to a major scale, and it isn't. It's minor. But yeah. So the ramifications of it are that, once again, if you know that it's two chords playing together rather than just going up and down a scale, and actually, not many people use the harmonic minor because they think, oh no, it sounds funny, so I won't use that. I'll use the Dorian or I'll use this, or I'll use that. Mm-hmm. But again, a big part of the kind of bebop and, certainly that dextery vibe thing, the harmonic minor is your chum,
Right. Okay.
Do you want me to give you a few
You're going to have
demos?
to, aren't you? Yep.
Okie dokie. So. So there, I was using the C sharp diminished bit to pick up into the D minor.
Right.
Each time.
Mm-hmm.
You can think about that in scale terms, because if you start on a note from D minor, then it'll run down the scale. It takes a bit of care, this, but if you run down the scale, it'll spell out D minor like this. Okay, so there, that sounded very much like the D minor chord. Okay.
Yeah.
If I start in other places, it'll sound much more like maybe E minor 7 flat 5 A7 going to D minor. I'll just demonstrate a few of those here.
Okay.
So they sounded kind of like minor 2-5-1s.
Right.
Again, just exclusively using the notes of the harmonic minor.
Right.
But because if you've got the understanding that it's two chords, then it looks, it stops you, kind of whistling in the dark with it.
Right.
It'll line up and make a coherent line.
Okay.
Rather than sounding a bit vague.
Right. So it's not a scale. It's two chords together, yet again, with pickups.
Yep.
If you've watched the other episodes, there was one episode we did with the Bebop major.
Yeah.
I think we touched on it in the pickups as well.
That's right.
Episode. So if you haven't seen them, if this is your first one, go back and it'll probably make a little bit more sense, perhaps. But essentially, it's the same story.
Yeah.
Simple chord.
Yep.
DFA.
That's it.
Leading note diminished.
Yep. Little chords.
Approaches. Diminished. Chord. Diminished. Chord. Diminished. Chord.
Yep.
Phrased.
Yep.
Great. There you go then. Harmonic minor scale. So that's the end of this episode. Again, we hope you've liked it and enjoyed it. And if you have, remember to give us a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you'll be one of the first to know when the next episode's out. And we'll see you really soon.